Jon Voight told TMZ that he believes that Miley Cyrus and Shia LaBeouf are teaching their followers or teaching people treason. So Jon Voight was asked by TMZ, what did you think about the Women's March? Watch the video.
When you see the young people like Shia LaBeouf and Miley Cyrus, and they have a lot of followers, young people are looking at them. What are they teaching? They're teaching treason. They're teaching going up against the government, not accepting the will of the people on this presidency.
Thoughts, 5 words or less.
Forgot Jon Voight was alive.
Wonder who he voided for.
Stick to Ray Donovan. He's so good in Ray Donovan.
He's a great actor.
He's a great actor.
Except even when he's doing a terrible accent in Anaconda.
Oh,
he's got.
You're still captivated by him.
They're up around you and your insides explode. You're just like, sir, are you Peruvian? Where are you from? Where are we now?
You just quoted Anaconda.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to the topic at large. Yeah, this frustrates me because, again, this is him saying that the march was all about against the government when it was really about the liberation and solidarity of equality. That's a good thing.
To give him the biggest benefit of all doubts is to say that the part of the march he's talking about is the subsection of people who think that it's not a valid presidency because the popular vote went to Hillary and the electoral vote went to Trump. And he says this is treason because it's against the will of the... But then he says it's because it's against the will of the people. We should accept the will of the people in this presidency when they're just pointing out the discrepancy. And First Amendment, it protects speech against the government. That's specifically what it's about. And he's being a hypocrite by saying it's treason if your message against the government conflicts with ours, when that's explicitly what the First Amendment protects them.
Amen.
Well, absolutely. Also, on top of that, watching this video, and again, I'd kind of forgotten, I was like, oh, Jon Voight, right, okay, because I don't watch Ray Donovan. So, reminds me a lot of like the relative you don't want to talk to at family gatherings. Like, he reminds me very much of the relative that you are like, okay, whatever, like, don't bring up any gay stuff around this relative, or like, don't bring up any of the women, like, if I have to take birth control with the meal, like, not around grandpa. And it makes me think of like Angelina Jolie is like, as far as I know, like, woke as fuck. And so how are these Thanksgivings going down? Because he's clearly, like, because he's very clearly out of touch with what his peers are advocating for, because he says this Hollywood group, it's very dangerous. He obviously doesn't understand. And I would encourage him maybe to sit down and break some bread with these people that he doesn't understand where they're coming from and see what we're talking about and what the protest is for and what the march is about. Because obviously it's a disconnect. I think it's maybe a generational thing where he just doesn't understand. But what I would encourage him to do is what I did with my grandfather, where it's like, all right, this is a generational thing. You weren't grown up with the right sort of words and terminology, and these communities weren't given the voice that they deserve. So let me like talk you through it, and then we all grow and learn and progress. But it seems like he's just been left in the dark for a while.
And it seems like he's just not listening. And it may be a generational thing. Very well could be. Could also be that he is regurgitating this narrative that we have seen that has completely hijacked the movement, where they are, as you stated earlier, where people are completely only citing or repeating a specific narrative that bolsters their political opinion. And it sucks because there's so much beauty and empowerment and solidarity at these marches where people were fighting for all sorts of different causes and for all sorts of different people that are marginalized. And why is that a bad thing? I still don't understand why that is a bad thing. He's only picking, these little parts that make him can support his argument that Miley Cyrus is a bad person, or that Shia LaBeouf is a bad person, or that anybody that marches are bad people, when at the end of the day, it's going to help your children and your grandchildren and their children, what was done at those marches.
Yeah, it's to remind him those things that the march was for was equal pay for equal work, reproductive rights, trying to protect things like just healthcare, abortion aside, but funding for Planned Parenthood, which no public funds, no federal taxpayer money goes to funding abortions at Planned Parenthood, okay? That rule has been in place that it can't happen for many, many years.
Since 1976.
And so it's okay. That stuff is the main focus of the march. Now, to get back to the part about treason and the will of the people, the scarier thing than having Miley Cyrus tell kids to be tolerant, which I don't think is a bad thing, or reminding the Trump administration that the reason that they're in power isn't because of the will of the people, but because of the specific rules of voting. The electoral votes got him in power. People are saying, listen, you are the president, but it's a little weird, and it seems like you're less popular because you lost the popular vote. So this mandate you think you have, you don't have. But I think more dangerous than that is what Trump is doing right now, and not to get too preachy, but saying, I want to do an investigation and purge voter rolls of folks that are registered in 2 states and irregularities of millions of immigrants who have cost him the popular vote by voting illegally. And the frustrating thing about that is, like, that's what we should be more concerned about, is someone who says, after they won, that the system is rigged against them, and going towards eliminating the votes of a lot of people when everyone who knows anything is saying that this isn't a problem.
Right.
So it seems like he's going after people's voice more than Miley Cyrus is reminding people what the voices said.
Thank you. And it's absolutely well said. And on top of all that, there's going to be a resistance when you are signing executive orders that are impacting the environment and that will impact climate change and will impact women's reproductive rights or will threaten, LGBTQ rights. You're going to get people that are going to stand up and fight for their rights. And that's a good thing. And to be surprised by that, like Jon Voight, or to say that that's treason to me, as you stated, to echo what you said, Grace, is just him just disconnected or believing this alternate reality to embolden exactly what his political beliefs are. And that's where the divisiveness is, because no one's listening to one another anymore. Nobody is.
Well, I don't know
everyone lives in an echo chamber of their respective narrative that they like, that suits their belief system.
And the most popular thing they see from the other side on their social media feeds is the thing that most people like them are completely outraged about, which isn't representative of the other side. So even what you're seeing, that's the main frustration is we have more information now than we ever did, but less idea of what the fuck is going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so please share your thoughts in the comment section below, and we'll see you next time on Pop Sugar.